After doing that video on the dead pull test with the personal track vehicle, I figured, why don't we do a couple other tests to see how that stacks up against some other vehicles. So I figured, why don't we do a dead pull test for the mini Snowcat. This is going to be a good test, actually. It's a comparable drive system. It's hydraulic, almost identical to the way that the PTV is set up. However, it has a 27 horse engine, the higher displacement motors in the tracks, higher displacement pumps connected to the engine. Should be an interesting test. Then I figured, well, since we're gonna go ahead and do this, why don't we just see how that compares to my Boland's Iseki tractor here. That's a 17 horse. It is strictly mechanical driven. It's a 3/2, so it's got a high-low range, 3 gears forward, 1 reverse. And I use this actually for pulling pipe with a plow on the back, and it pulls beautifully when in that low first gear. So we'll do a little test and see how this compares to those two units. Virtually the same setup we had with the PTV. In this case, we have the front tow ring on the Snowcat hooked up. Otherwise, everything else is exactly the same. So I will set up the camera and we will watch the pressure on the dial there and see what we get. All right, well, it looks like we got about 1,000 PSI on the pull from the mini Snowcat, so that would work out to about 980 pounds if we use that correction factor for the cylinder, which is pretty impressive. So let's test that tractor now and see how that works out. Again, same setup. We got the tractor in place now. I will put it into 4 low first gear. We'll see what we get on this gauge here. Well, we're holding steady right about 1250. Tractor's just chugging away, doing its thing. So there you go. So overall, that's kind of interesting to see how these 3 different machines compare, with the PTV coming in at about 750, the Snowcat coming in at right around 1,000, and then the tractor is right around 1250. So you knock off 2% for each of those, and that's the real number there. So like I said, the 1,000 PSI works out to about 980 pounds of drawbar pull, and we worked out that it was right around 700, between 700 and 750 on that PTV there. So yeah, gives you a little bit of perspective. If there's anything else you want to see, maybe with that load cell or any of the other machines that I have here, just let me know. We'll give it a test. Oh yeah, and there was one other thing that I had forgot to mention, that cylinder load cell, it works under tension, but you can reconfigure it to work under compression. So you could do a test for something like, let's say, the tongue weight of a travel trailer. To do that, you would just flip the gauge around to the other side of the cylinder, make sure it has some oil in it. You'd have to find a way to balance the tongue of a trailer on that cylinder without it kind of falling over to either side. So maybe a little test jig or a test stand to hold it upright would be all that you need, but it would definitely work for that type of application too.